everyone, welcome to ABC Interactive English. I'm Mike.
And I'm Sam.
And it's time for more action.
Action!
I'm exhausted. This has been 2 days of solid action.
Yes, non-stop action.
My
Races,
God.
Arranging furniture.
Moving sofas. Other things. Yes, but
Lots
today
of
we're going to
action.
be talking about other activities, more fun activities, I'd say, than arranging furniture. And again, Spencer and Tracy are back to talk about some of the things that they're good at and the things that they're maybe not so good at. And we're going to kind of get into some sports and activities that kids do. Now, are there things that you remember other kids in your neighborhood, maybe your brother, sister, classmates, they did this, you didn't do it, but now many years later you're like, I should have learned how to do that when I was little. It's too late for me now, I'm too old, I don't have the time, but God, I wish I could, ...
Well, if it's not like real sporty, a lot of the people in my neighborhood, they played the piano when they were really
learning
young.
a musical
Yeah,
instrument.
and I asked my mom several times to let me take piano lessons, and she said no. Because we didn't have a piano. And
I mean, you could learn now.
Yeah, I think,
right?
But the time issue.
Takes time.
The time
Takes
issue.
time. I think they've kind of shown with science that kids' brains, they just learn faster and more easily.
True.
So you could do it, but it might take more work
What
and
about
things
you?
like that.
Did you have anything?
Mine's kind of weird. I wish I could raise one eyebrow. Huh? You know, like I'm asking, like kind of like you're halfway there. I couldn't do it.
I can only do one side.
And it's something that someone said, oh, you have to learn that as a kid. I can whistle. I can do that. Some kids never learn that, but raising one eyebrow. Let's come back for more action with Spencer and Tracy. See what they aren't very good at. Spencer and Tracy are discussing their strengths and faults.
As a kid, I loved to fly kites. I was good at it too.
Not me. I never ran fast enough to get the kite off the ground. I also fell a lot.
Okay, so welcome back. So we're back with Spencer and Tracy. And so let's see what type of action they've got going on now.
Okay.
So we have our little intro sentence, and it says, Spencer and Tracy are discussing their strengths and faults.
Oh, interesting.
So this is something that kind of interesting. I guess they might not be actually doing some action, but they might be talking about actions they can and cannot do. And so we have this first word, strength. As used here, it's something that you're good at, something that you do well, or that you are strong at, I guess you could also say, because strength comes from the word strong. And so if you are strong, then you can do, or you've got muscles and that kind of stuff. But when we talk about my strengths versus weaknesses, or strengths versus faults, is things that you are good at, things that you do well.
Yeah, not necessarily about your muscle power and things like that. If you can speak 5 languages, if you're really good at meeting people and getting friendly with people, those are strengths too. It has nothing to do with your gym work or your muscle power. It's a positive, good thing about you. The other side would be a fault, or maybe a weakness, somewhere where you're maybe not as good as other people, and it might be kind of important or something you'd like to get better at. You know, if you're shy when you're meeting with new people, well, that could be a fault or a weakness if you want to work as a salesperson, because it's just hard for you to talk to people. All right, so it's somewhere where in your life you feel like, meh, I'm not as good as that as I'd want to be, or that's something that I never really tried, never got good at, and now I kind of wish I did. I kind of wish I was better at that. So basically the good things and maybe not so good things about themselves. This is what they think about themselves. So back to the dialogue. As a kid, Spencer begins, I loved to fly kites. I was good at it too. So you'd see him out there in the park with his kite really high every weekend. He was amazing at it.
Yeah, it sounds like he was pretty good. I always found kite flying to be a little bit tough. But
I didn't try it very much, but it was tough.
yeah, it's just, you know, we'd have to wait for a super windy day, because me and my friends, we just didn't know how to get it to go up unless it was super windy. And actually, Tracy is kind of in the same category as me. So she says, not me. I never ran fast enough to get the kite off the ground. I also fell a lot.
Oh, ouch.
Yeah, so that's why we preferred to wait for a super windy day so we didn't have to do as much work when we were trying to get the kite to go up into the air.
True. And of course, your parents always bought you that cheap kite that was heavy like a kitchen table.
Yeah.
Like,
how is this supposed to go up? I don't know.
No, those kites are supposed to fly.
Yes, and so kite is a noun, and it's the actual thing that you're trying to fly when you go to fly kites, but it's usually made out of kind of like plasticky material.
Plastic, fabric, paper.
Yeah. Oh, you can make a paper one
guess
with
you can.
paper and maybe popsicle sticks. The classic kite shape is a little triangle
Like
or
a diamond?
diamond.
Yeah, kind of a diamond shape. Yeah.
Triangle. That only has 3 sides. Diamond. Yes, that's the correct word. So a diamond shape, and you can attach it with a long string, and when it's windy and you run a little bit and it goes up in the air and you let out more string, and then you can fly your kite.
That's right.
And so that's what they are talking about here.
Exactly. And if you're the kind of person who was flying kites when you were a kid, your dad was good at, your grandfather, grandmother, whoever, they taught you, you've been doing it for a long time, you would probably be good at flying kites. So it's always be good at some kind of noun, verb with an ing. This is using it as a noun. I'm good at running, I'm good at playing the guitar, I'm good at video games, I'm good at English, all sorts of things. But if you are skilled, if you are talented, if you find it easy when other people might not, you could say, I am good at such and such a thing. You know what I'm good at?
What?
Taking a break.
Oh, me too.
I am the best at taking a break. Let's take one now. I'll show you how the professionals take a break.
Okay.
That's too bad. Hey, do you want to know a secret?
If it's about you, sure.
I can throw balls and frisbees, but I can't catch one to save my life.
Really? Me too.
I can't make my hands and eyes work together.
Yeah, I also fear the ball will hit me and knock me out.
Okay, so we are back with our dialogue. We're looking at different things that Spencer and Tracy are good at and not so good at. Their strengths or their faults or their weaknesses. Now, what was the last one?
So they were talking about flying kites.
That's right, that's right.
And
Tracy
Tracy's
said,
not good.
I wasn't good at it. Spencer was. Tracy's like, I could never run fast enough to get the kite off the ground. In other words, to get the kite to actually fly. And so she wasn't very good at it. And Spencer, feels bad. He had fun doing it. And he knows that Tracy wasn't good. So he says, that's too bad. That's kind of sad to hear. I feel bad for you. And then he says, hey, do you want to know a secret?
Ooh.
So this is maybe some kind of personal, private information about him. He doesn't tell many other people. If it's from your friend, maybe it's kind of embarrassing or something like that, But he feels, he can trust Tracy. They're close friends. So he feels safe in telling her his secret.
Yes, and so Tracy says, if it's about you, sure. So I'm not really sure why she wouldn't want to hear any secret. For me, I'm like, if you had a secret, okay, I'll hear it.
Tell me your secret, then I'm going to go tell everyone.
It doesn't matter what it's about. I just want to know.
Of course, you shouldn't go and tell everyone a secret. That's the thing about a secret. It's personal, private information that you choose to give to other people. You might have all your secrets in your mind and no one knows. Well, fine. But if you're telling a secret or if someone hears a secret about another person, this is personal, private information. But yeah, be careful who you tell, because sometimes if your secret comes out and becomes known to everyone, it can be embarrassing. So let's see what Spencer's secret is. I hope it's nothing illegal or,
hopefully
or really bad or something like that. He says, I can throw balls and frisbees, but I can't catch one to save my life.
Oh. Okay, so
In the world
not
of
a bad
no,
secret.
it's not like I stole $1 million from a
Yes.
bank one time or something like that. So he's basically saying, I'm good at throwing sports, throwing games. I can throw a ball, I can throw a frisbee, but he's not really good at catching these things, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah, although I have to say, with the frisbee, this was actually something that I had a problem with as well when I was growing up. So the frisbee is like, it's a flying disc, so it's that kind of flat plastic toy that you would throw like this.
It looks like an upside down plate.
Yeah, and it kind of sails usually pretty smoothly.
Right.
And my brothers, I've got 2 brothers, for some reason, they love frisbee.
Okay.
And they'd always be like, let's go play frisbee. And I'd be like, fine. But then I go out there and I cannot catch a frisbee to save my life.
Maybe
Just
that's
like,
why they like playing frisbee with
Yeah,
you.
probably.
It's funny.
Yes, and so so he used that phrase to save my life, which is also something that I say a lot. It means like if you can't do something to save your life, it means that you're really bad at it. And even if you needed to do that thing to save your life, you wouldn't be able to save your life.
So Sam, save this frisbee or you will die.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, I'm ready to die.
Like, well, I
Then-
might as well not even try.
That frisbee. All
But
right,
so
all
then
right.
Tracy hears this secret and she goes, really? Me too.
Oh, they're the same.
Yeah.
So she's also not good at catching things. Very, very interesting. Spencer's probably, is surprised to hear that, but he also explains a bit more about why he's not good at catching things like balls and frisbees. He says, I can't make my hands and eyes work together. We would call that hand-eye coordination. If you're very good at catching things or stopping things, even sometimes they say video games, right? Because your eyes seeing what you're doing, your fingers have to actually do it. It all has to match up. If you're catching a baseball, if you're, playing anything that where you have to throw things or hit things that are very small and hard, you have good hand-eye coordination.
Yes, and so that's pretty important when you're doing sports and a lot of things in general, just kind of living your life. It's good to have hand-eye coordination.
Sure, you don't want to cut your fingers off if you're chopping vegetables.
Yeah, no
Ouch.
fun. And so then Tracy continues and she says, yeah, I also fear the ball will hit me and knock me out.
Ouch. That would
Ooh.
not be good.
So she's got a pretty big fear, although in this sentence she's using the fear as a verb. So sometimes we can use it as a noun saying you have a fear of spiders, for example.
Okay.
But you could also use it as a verb in the same way, same sentence, and say, I fear spiders.
I fear waking up with a spider on my face.
Oh my gosh, that would be my true nightmare.
Right.
Ugh.
Most people, of course, they would probably say, I am afraid of something, but we can use fear as a verb. And you know what we've shown today? You don't have to fear these dialogues or frisbees.
Well,
not really.
well.
Maybe fear the frisbee a little bit until you have good hand-eye coordination and you can catch it. But be safe out there, have fun, get better at the things you're not so good at if you can. It's a good challenge, and we invite you to come back and join us very soon for more great dialogues. Until then, look out! Look out! Ah, look out! What's going on here? Spencer and Tracy are discussing their strengths and faults.
As a kid, I loved to fly kites. I was good at it too.
Not me. I never ran fast enough to get the kite off the ground. I also fell a lot.
That's too bad. Hey, do you want to know a secret?
If it's about you, sure.
I can throw balls and frisbees, but I can't catch one to save my life.
Really? Me too.
I can't make my hands and eyes work together.
Yeah, I also fear the ball will hit me and knock me out.
Hi， 大家好，我是 Stephanie。那我们今天的第一个单字呢是 fault， 名词弱点。Danny knows his faults and tries to improve them. Danny 知道他的弱点，便试图改善它们。第二个单字呢是 kite， 名词风筝。There are many people flying kites in the park. 公园里很多人在放风筝。第三个单字是名词 secret， 秘密。I'll tell you a secret if you promise to keep it. 如果你答应保密，我就告诉你一个秘密。所以从这个句子里面，我们可以知道 keep a secret 是一个固定的用法，是保守秘密的意思。最后一个单字呢是动词 fear 害怕。I fear for my life 我担心有生命危险，我害怕有生命危险的意思。好，那我们一起看今天的文法。第一个文法呢是 get something off the ground 让某物离开地面。 get something off place 的意思是使某物离开某处， ground 指的是户外的地面。如果是指室内的地板，这时候我们会用的字汇呢是 floor。我们看例句 I told Jocelyn to get her clothes off the floor 我叫 Jocelyn 把衣服从地板上拿起来。第二个重点呢是 somebody can't 加动词加 to save one's life 某人不擅长做某件事，是口语的用法，表示某人缺乏某项才能或能力。Mandy can't cook to save her life, so she always eats out. Mandy 非常不擅长煮饭，所以她总是去外面吃饭。今天的最后一个重点呢是 A knocks B out。A 击昏打昏 B。Knock 是指敲击的意思。这个片语可以分开使用，也可以合在一起使用。但是如果是代名词，就必须要摆在 knock 和 out 之间。比如说 knock him out。我们一起看一个例句哦。Christian knocked the drunk man out， 或者是 Christian knocked out the drunk man。中文意思都是 Christian 把醉汉打昏了。Knock out 也有击败或者是淘汰出局的意思。比如说 The team was knocked out in the first round。这个队伍在第一回合被击败了。好，我们的讲解就到这里。See you。
Water running up is a small man-made stream located in Dulan Village, Taitung County. The stream was built by the Amis tribe in 1870. The stream was made to move water closer to plants and animals. Soon, people saw that the water looked like it was moving uphill. Visitors can drop leaves in the stream and watch them flow up. The stream does not really flow uphill. The pathway beside the stream moves down sharper than the stream, making the stream look like it is moving up. Visit Water Running Up for an unusual experience.
See you next time!